Talks with Dorks. May the power protect you.
Let's rock it!
Kurt,
Yes?
are you starting to feel the same as me? Like, the others, they don't care anymore about what we're doing.
I mean, I'm starting to feel like... I don't know about you, I'm starting to take it personally.
I mean, I've noticed the connection. It's all the ones that live up north that just don't turn up no more. Is it because we keep making them come all the way down here to do stuff? Is it because they started meeting up and, you know, they're just having fun without us? Is it because they're all adults and they've got grown-up lives and they've got things to do that's more important than sitting here and talking idiotic, geeky things for the next hour?
Whoa. There is nothing better to do than sit around talking geeky things for half an hour.
And this is
I'm not going to be able to talk much today. My voice is
why-
going, but I'm still here.
This is why you're on path to becoming my favourite, all right? Because generally, without fail, you turn up every week, and you know, I'm just wanting to. Hopefully, they're all watching this and listening, and I'm just pointing this out. You're all bastards, and it's only because we miss you. We miss having. This monetisation is never going to happen, is it? I just said the B word. Bastard. That's all right. Bastard's all right, can you?
Yeah. 3 of them might not be, but...
Yeah. What bit?
I said 3 of them might not be.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, they're out there. Welcome to Talks with Dorks, your go-to geek podcast. We're just having a laugh because I keep trying to get all the band together, and the boys, just as it is, you know, the other lads have got things going, they've got normal lives, and that's what happens. And me and Kurt keep having to be the ones saving the grace at the moment, but we've literally run out of things to talk about before we start.
Oh, so this is how we're starting this video.
This is literally how we're starting it. This is how we're starting it. That whole bit is going to stay in. They put it like this. We've run out of things. I literally said to Kurt before, because, you know, I was hoping, I told him last week, there's only 3 episodes, there'll be 4 by now. I said, have you watched it? He went, what's what? I went, It. He went, what's It? I went, It, Welcome to Derry, a TV show. And his exact words were, no. I was like, okay, cool. That's out the window. We have both watched Monday Night Raw, which by this point, Kurt, you know, thinking about it, because this one's coming out next week. We're ahead of ourselves. What's the point of talking about last night's Raw? Because the whole episode of SmackDown before that, but we can dive into the fact that it was, and it looks like I've planned this, John Cena's last Monday Night Raw. So we can cover that kind of thing, and we can just, we always figure something out. I mean, last week, I don't even remember what we talked about, and I listened to the whole episode. It's really good. I remember laughing a few times while I was in the car at what we spoke about.
2 dorks, 1 glove.
Michael Jackson. There's a lot of Michael Jackson talk, wasn't there? And to be fair, I keep talking about last week, like I didn't record an episode this morning, which you guys would have seen by now, which is the episode with Hakan the Peckham Playboy, which was honestly great chat. We both said we could have carried on talking for hours, because just another one of them episodes where I'm talking wrestling with someone that's been around sort of since the same time as me, so you have a lot of similar conversations. Quite fun. And yeah, Kurt, I'm sorry to say, you haven't even seen the episode at this point, but Hakan will be joining TDW at some point. It's happening. He's been on the radar since we started, to be fair.
No problem at all, if you ask me. I've seen Peckham Playboy's work. He is awesome.
He's really great. And what I love is that you'll get to hear the conversation is Guy, you know, always plays the heel, always plays the bad guy. But when you hear why he does that and what his motivations are, it's great, because it's all right, and it's so refreshing to hear when, again, you've been through the side of the business where I see at times where egos were the winning factor in it. It's so mad to see how things play out now, especially we see it because we have TDW and we have everything that's going on there. What have you been up to, mate? So I don't even. Have you done much?
What have I been up to? Well, I said on the last podcast episode that basically my entire life since the 26th of October has been eat, sleep, edit. We finished Back in Time, our second wrestling show, And then we got the footage pretty quickly. Thank you very much to Bobby, our videographer, who's been absolutely awesome. Got all the footage over to us pronto. And then my hell began. Oh my God. Because I made a rod for my own back. Like the first show that we put on, I was amazingly happy with it. We left that show feeling like we'd put on a WrestleMania. But it was a bunch of guys doing a passion project. We didn't know if it was going to be a one-off or not. We just put it out there. This time round, TDW's a thing now. We have merch now. And so with that in mind, I was like, right, this is an actual product now. This isn't just us saying, hey, here's the video of this cool thing that we did. This is us saying, hey, here's this video of this cool thing that we did. And we want it to look legit. And therefore, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna bloody do it. And oh my God, the sheer amount of time I've spent in that editing suite. I don't know what my wife looks like anymore, but it's done. As of the moment we record this, it has been up and live for just over 24 hours. And by the time this goes out, it would have been up for about a week. And I am so proud of it. If you haven't gone and checked it out on our Patreon just yet, please do. Partly for the vindication that I'm spending so long on it, I just want as many eyes on it as possible. But secondly, I am so proud of everything that everyone put into that show. And yeah, I just want as many people to see it as possible.
Let me start by saying, mate, thank you for the hard work you've put in. I have been so excited to see the final. I've seen pretty much the end of it all and the final product already, but just adding the voiceover, the little bits, the little touches you've added to the end, with like D'Angelo's backstage part, the after credit scene, the end credits, the promos, everything. I honestly, I was sitting there and I was looking at it going, mate, this looks like a wrestling show. This looks like something we should be proud of. So be proud of yourself. Thank you. And I know, listen, put it like this. There's compliments coming out of it already, because as we know, we had to change. One of the biggest things you had to do was change everybody's music, because you didn't want to risk any copyright, which we may still get copyright from the ones we didn't change, like mine. Mine does have an intro made by the people that made that song, but I'm pretty sure even they will come for me.
Yeah, we might get away with that one on we've had the endorsement level anyway. If Ryan's theme music suddenly disappears at some point, that's why. Currently, I think we're okay with it. But if it does suddenly change, that would be why.
Yes.
But basically, yeah. But here's the thing that we didn't bother with on the first show, because again, passion project, not trying to make money from it, just putting it out there into the world. All the wrestlers use licensed music for their entrance themes, which is fine when it's just on a show, and fine if you have no intention of making any profit from this whatsoever. I didn't care if the previous video got copyright struck, because it wasn't for that. However, now that TDW's a thing, we now had to think about the copyright. So the vast majority of my editing time was removing the licensed music and then either finding or creating copyright free music for those wrestlers, then splicing it over the top of that, but doing it in a way where when you lost the original music, you didn't lose the crowd reactions, because otherwise it'd be very dead feeling at the show. And very luckily, thankfully, all the tools worked in my favour, was able to keep all the crowd noise as well, and then get the new music over the top of it. I'm actually very proud of the new music that I've made for a couple of the guys. A couple of the wrestlers have actually messaged me since and said,
say, there's the compliment in it there. And the thing is, right, look at there's two people so far that have, and I'm sure more will come to you. The first one being RJ, because I think I was watching the match and sent it to him, didn't I?
Yeah.
How did it? And his first reaction was, I love it. Can I have that music? I'm going to use it. And he's already used it on a show. D'Angelo yesterday messaged, and D'Angelo, this is the cool thing. There's an added compliment here. Where's that going to be played?
Across the pond, all on tour.
D'Angelo has asked for his music because he's like, I actually prefer that to my normal music. He's willing to use it. You've literally been. I saw you replying to or reading his email where we were talking just now in your eyes. Because you were distracted, and I could see in your eyes you were like not reading the email. So you were literally just sent it to him. So he's going to be using that music in America.
Yeah, and this is a man who's, he's performed in like MLW and the likes as well. Like that's gonna get some eyes on it. And like, I'm not doing this for recognition or anything like that. And like, I made this stuff just because, we had the copyright issue, so I had to make some royalty-free music. I was happy to get something that was like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm happy with that. That kind of works. That works as an alternative entrance theme. And then listening to it back, and like RJ's especially was one that I listened to it back and go, and well, we're over 5 minutes in at this point, so I'm going to say it. I listened back to RJ's after I was all happy with it and I'd done all the tweaking and changing to it I wanted to do. And I listened back to RJ's and went, okay, this kind of works. Yeah, just listen to back, tweak that a little bit, play that. Oh, that fucking bangs. That and very proud of that. And then again, but it wasn't the intent. It wasn't the intention to do anything other than just be a nice little placeholder. And then when it ended up coming out, going as hard as it did, and then like I say, the wrestlers themselves are then messaging saying, I actually prefer that to my licensed theme. I'm like, mate, I will never pretend to be like a proper producer or anything like that. Like the fact that I even get to put that title above my name doing what we do, I sometimes feel I get the biggest amount of imposter syndrome possible doing that. But when you're getting the vindication from the people that you've actually made it for, saying, I actually want to use that on my actual shows in front of live crowds, I'm like, I genuinely felt like I had to pinch myself and wake up and like that doesn't feel right. I joined this podcast like a few months ago.
Is that right?
There was an element of AI used with a couple of them.
Like I said, with RJ's, the music literally mentions RJ Singh in it.
Yeah. So
actually,
depending on which, yeah, depending on which one you're talking about, there was an element of AI used, but not in the case of like, put one prompt in, generate it, done. Like, because I wouldn't remotely take a bit of credit for it if it was just a case of I put a single prompt into AI, I went, yeah, that works. But I'd also be lying if I said that I hadn't utilized AI a tiny bit to,
why not?
Either get a degree of instrumental or to, help me out with something. Because I'm one guy sat in a studio editing. Like, I'll be lying if I didn't say that I had to utilize some tools. But
I think what we can say, like with the show edit, with other little things, what's the biggest compliment for what we've done with TDW in 2 shows is, for example, Ian Frost messaged our WhatsApp group the other day saying he was at the gym. He ran into someone who recognised him from our show.
Yeah.
We had it, I can't remember, I know we've spoken about it, I can't remember if we've mentioned it on here. We had it at Basildon Pride, where we saw the guy in the wrestling t-shirt, and we went running. I went, Kurt, wrestling shirt, grab the flyers. We went running on there, and as we got to the guy, I was like, hey, dude, you like wrestling? And he recognised, we have had this on the conversation, he recognised us. You could see it in his face. He was like, hey, as if to say, he knows who we are. And he was like, yeah, I was at your first show. And he was like, oh, that's cool. Like that, and it's that little bit having the music, like the work that we're doing with this silly little box of wrestling toys. We should just that's what we should have called this, a box of wrestling toys, not TDW. Box of wrestling toys. Having our own real box of wrestling toys is that, in a way, what's nice is we're getting over. We're getting recognition. And people are, we're being noticed, even if it's just by that small crowd that come watch us or the people that work with us. We're doing stuff that's I feel really good, and that's the compliment is that, I'm seeing TikTok. Some of the guys are wearing TikToks wearing our t-shirts, or there's whether again that's including wrestlers and people that were at the show were just there to be fans, part of our community. Which, by the way, do you know how to use Discord? And this is definitely a conversation for other. Do you know how to use Discord? Because I really think we should start a TDW/Talks with Dorks, just a Dork Discord. Do you like that? Dork Discord. I just named it right here. you any good? I know
on-air production meeting.
Woody had to use it, but again, obviously Woody.
I've dabbled.
Busy at the moment. You've dabbled. All right, okay. We need to get that sorted, right? So, guys, hopefully by the time this comes out in a week, there might be a Discord link down the bottom to start this.
He said it on the pod now. It has to happen.
That's a lie. I've in the past definitely said I was going to get The Rock to acknowledge me on the podcast, but how we doing, Dwayne?
I'll tell you what, people keep sharing our stuff around as much as they're doing. If D'Angelo's getting bigger and bigger in the States, you never know. Never know. Day 5,083,000, he might finally acknowledge you.
I gave up on that after day 50. I did 50 days of it, and that was getting like sprouts. It was one a day, then it started being one a week eventually. So yeah, I gave up after 50, and they're all coming back round now. They're on this day from last year, and I'm like, I should have started resharing them again. Got to day 50 and had loads built up by then, and I could have carried on with it. But okay. Anyway, yeah, back to TDW. It's not to sort of like this one of them where we're sitting there sound like we're blowing our own trumpets, but the show is now coming up to. It's a week away from being a month away, and it's still nice to know that because there was like a couple of people, the guys I can't remember his name on TikTok, who was like messing, when's it out? When's it out? When's it out? And then messages me within an hour of it being up, going up, and he said something, and I was like, dude, wait to stick around to the end, post credits. And he was like, I'm 45 minutes in, I'll stick around for the post credits. And then I got a message of, oh. And that's the other thing. Again, a compliment to you is that because you're clever. You end the show like with proper credits. You know, I loved that it was in order of appearance. Really good, really, really good. And then obviously thank you to everybody that was involved. And then you stick around to the end. This is for people that haven't watched it as well. Or even if you have watched it and didn't know this, stick around to the end because as Kurt
don't switch off with the credits. We are dorks. We are dorks. We are nerds. We're dorks. We're nerds. We love superhero movies. We hang around for the post-credit scene, and you should too.
Yeah, the post-credit scene. What? I mean, I didn't. This is the thing. What makes it even good? I didn't even know this post-credit was a thing. I didn't know this scene, and it involves me. On that note, right? Ding ding. TDW news. Parky. You can say all you want about me stepping into your business. Why did I get involved in your business? I got involved in your business because your business got wrapped around my back, and it's somewhere in this house. That chair. Yeah. There's still no explanation of why you decided there and then, when I tried to be as fair a ref, I let you guys go at it. I let you guys go at it. You then think I'm going to hit him with a chair. Why? Explain that bit to me, and then I'll explain to you why I'm getting in your business. Because to me, I put you down. I put you down because you put me down. Simple as. And you can say all you want about it's not personal, it's just pure violence. Dude, personal or pure violence. You don't want this smoke. You don't want me to be the next step after you're done with Kev. Trust me. Leave it there. I can, as far as I'm concerned, it's one apiece. You hit me with a chair, which technically is worse than taking a rock bottom because you wrap still round my back. I will easily, as the chairman, as the guy at the top here, be the man that says, let's leave it there. Go. Sorry about that. Just had to say.
No, totally fair. Look, I think you're selling yourself short by saying you were calling down the middle. Like, you were very lenient. Like, even once the bell rang, there's a moment in the match where Parky is choking Johnny in the corner and you don't start the 5 count because I know you said, look, I just want this feud to be over. I'll be as lenient as I can get away with if it means it ends today.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I think I was actually talking to somebody in the crowd.
Here I am trying to give you a bit of credit.
To be fair, because I in that moment, I don't know why I wasn't looking at that choke. Because, to be honest, again, I probably shouldn't have been the referee because I've got a million other things to be thinking about when I'm running the show. But I wanted to just be there because, again, I actually, as much as Parky pisses me off, especially when he wraps a chair around my back, I love the guy. I think he's very talented and I love what he does. Johnny Royal. I have a soft spot for Johnny because to me, he probably don't even see it like that, just because I was the guy that was in a show, that was running the show that he first went to. But I see that I'm a little bit protective of him, like in a Big Brother sense. Great kid, and he's got a great future ahead of him. So I love him. If you need to fight and you want to get it out, get it out. That's what I was letting. So yeah, I think I just got easily distracted. But I'm sure I was talking to. I think I was trying to say something to JE about the whole suspension, which we still need to address as well. But I think we're going to have to address that with JE and Stanley. But yeah,
I mean,
that happened.
You say being protective of Johnny as well. I mean, it makes a lot more sense about why you got more involved as well. Because firstly, yeah, when a man wraps a chair around your back, you're going to want to, give some comeuppance again anyway. But also, let's not forget what happened in between chair shot and rock bottom, which is Parky actively trying to end the man's career
and almost succeeding, because there was a lot. But do you know what? I'm not going to lie. Obviously, yes, that table situation didn't go smoothly and nearly went very, very badly.
Or very much to plan if you're Parky. Like, he's trying to injure the man. I don't think he cared if he hit the table or not.
I don't know if I want to sort of say it's because, yes, Kev's obviously in his head, clearly, because moments later, Kev's music hits, and yeah, we see that he's very. Was he trying to end that man's life because he's that stuck on Kev? And this is what I'm saying. Let's get to this tag match. We'll discuss. We're going to have to bring them all on and discuss this. Let's get to this tag match with the boys, and let's end it there. It's not going to be then, and it's not going to be a series of then. It's going to be Kev. Look, Kev and Parky are both technically not wrestlers anymore. Parky looks like he's more ready. Kev has expressed it to me. I don't want to be a wrestler, but I feel like if Parky wants his fight, I've got to do it. So let's let Johnny and Preston get their beef out. They've had anger for years. Get it over and done with in that match. Let Kevin Parky do their bit. No tables, no chairs, none of this. Just have the match, and we will this time ensure that they're. I'm not the referee. I'm not going to be the referee, because if I end up in that situation again, I have to put my hands on wrestlers again. There's another issue, and I've got too much to be worried about on that day, because we have the King of the Ring tournament and we have the Battle Royale, which the King of the Ring tournament, we've had discussions, Kurt, that this could be interesting how we set it up. So I want to concentrate on that. I want to concentrate on crowning our first TDW. That to me is my priority for Danger Zone, and then going towards the next show. Have we named it yet?
We've named it, but we've not said the name on the podcast.
No, I know we've named it. I've got a poster from you from the actual show. Have we named it? Not on here, no.
We've not publicly named it, no.
Okay.
Do you know what? No, tell a lie. We've alluded to it before. We've mentioned what the theme of it was going to be, but we haven't officially named it.
Okay, yeah. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I know what you mean. Anybody just listening, I am currently pointing at a picture on my wall that will give you away what film we're doing, because it's the best movie ever. Spoilers. It's the best movie ever. Wait till you hear the name. We have. That's it. I think we've named this. I'm sure I've mentioned that it was named by my kid's hairdresser on here before. I don't know. I should listen to our episodes again once more.
Yeah, we're theming it around the greatest movie of all time. That's it. We're doing No Holds Barred.
So he was about to get a compliment there. I was like, are you actually trying to butter me up so much that you're
genuine? No, to be fair, genuine opinion. It's in my top 5. Like, it's
hang on,
is one of, if not the greatest movie of all time.
To the side a little bit. Mm-hmm. A little bit of shit on the ending.
Well, look. I have, and I hope I'm on full screen as I say this. I will very much rep what I think is the greatest movie ever made, and I'm willing to die on this hill. It's not absolute Oscar-worthy cinema in the same way that your one might be, but I'm willing to die on this hill of this being one of the greatest pieces of film ever made.
I love Shaun of the Dead. Absolutely love Shaun of the Dead. So you've seen Stand By Me, right?
Yeah.
Stand By Me is I wouldn't call it Oscar worthy. What I think,
I would. I'll put it up there.
I mean, in my eyes, yes, it is the greatest film of all time. It should have won everything, but it's not. That's not why I think of it. Of that, it's what I love, and I've always said, as you know, like I love superheroes. I love this. I love Star Wars, Star Trek. I love Star Trek. What is Stand By Me? The opposite, complete. Take every bit away. It's just about four 12-year-old lads on an adventure, and I was, I don't know, 4 or 5 when I first saw it, mate. I don't know. It's just been in my life since day dot. As much as Michael Jackson,
I think that's actually
Michael Jackson and Stand By Me have been in my life since day dot, and it's just the purest and most simple film in the world. It is 4 boys going on a train track, and do you know what? Growing up next to Gloucester Park was my Stand By Me, having that as my back garden as a kid. I mean, it's scary now, but that was my Stand By Me adventure, having the because you had the rivers and the sewer bits around Gloucester Park and the pond. To me, that was like my own little Stand By Me, I suppose. No.
Honestly,
It's to me. It's never been about what, because I couldn't even tell you if it did win any awards. I know it got #1, but it is the pure purest, and it's the performances of the kids, like in that film. Stand By Me, where you've got River Phoenix, and my God, I'm sure you know the tragedy of River Phoenix.
Yeah. Had to think about that for a moment. Yeah.
Obviously Joaquin Phoenix's older brother. The guy would have been, and was at the time, one of the biggest actors in the world, and would have been throughout the 90s, bigger than Brad Pitt maybe, because he's such a good actor, from such a, like, his family were very, what's the word? They're like earth children, I think that is the term. Like they were River Phoenix, summer, rain. You know what I mean? They were very simple, live people, live by the basics, and hippies, I suppose, in a sense, very of the earth people. And they were just, every one of them is a phenomenal actor. River led the way, and I mean, he's what, 14, 15 in that film? He'd already been in things, but he was just stand out. And it's the irony that his character is stabbed outside a restaurant at around the age of 23, and he died at 23, 24, wherever it was, outside a nightclub. Obviously, a completely different situation. It was through substances, but like, it's so crazy that the irony of the end, where you see him walking off and he disappears. Heartbreaking when you know that's what happened to him. Not what happened, but it's eerie for his character to have died around the same age in his potentially his biggest film. See, I could talk about this film for a whole hour, mate. We could do this podcast. We've got no plan on Stand By Me if you want.
I mean, honestly, this is why there was absolutely no fight from me when we were thinking of, because again, on TDW, we're treating this promotion seriously, but also we don't shy away from the fact that we are a bunch of dorks. We love pop culture, we love stuff like that, and we love good movies. And we said, okay, obviously our first show, by sheer luck of the draw, we wanted to film around the 40th anniversary of the Goonies, especially with us booking Paul Johnson Naylor, Goonie Dad, Old School Paul, for that first show. So we wanted to theme it around the Goonies. Then our second show, we looked at the dates. We're like, right, our next show is going to fall, as near as makes no difference, on the anniversary of Back to the Future. And then we realised the actual Back to the Future date would be a weekend date. So we're like, right, we're doing it on Back to the Future Day. And that kind of set the precedent at that point, which is every one of our shows is going to be based around a classic movie. Ideally, a movie that is experiencing a notable anniversary at that time. And then the second you said, by the way, lads, 2026 is the anniversary of Stand By Me. No fight from me whatsoever. I did not even remotely try to fight this, because, like I say, as nerdy and as passionate as we are about everything, comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, the fact that despite all of that, your favourite movie of all time, to the extent you have it on your wall as part of your backdrop in prominent place, has none of that, tells you how passionate you are about that film. So the second you
I have
said,
an
yeah,
entire
Stand By Me
pec that has caused so much drama with my life. That is the picture of the four lads from that movie. That's how much of it. But again, the greatest idea in the world to have that tattoo until I had the tattoo and was having to answer the question from anybody who has never seen Stand By Me, why I have 4 12-year-old boys tattooed on my chest that I've never met. I think the funny thing, I've told you about when I posted the tattoo on Twitter and who responded.
No, I don't think you have.
Corey Feldman. Do you know who Corey Feldman is?
Mm-hmm.
So, Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman. Teddy Duchamp. He quoted, I look more like Kiefer Sutherland. That was it. That was all I got. And I was like, I'll take that.
John, if anyone ever questions it, just tell them about the podcast, just show it down and say, that's the third.
That's the third. There's Woody. That's me. That's got to be you. Poor old Tony. No, Tony, do you know what? Mate, because you are my Superman. You can have him. Yo, mate, why did you make me the fat kid?
Now I really hope that all the guys who aren't here today are watching this one.
Most random we just see this is what happens. We've just gone on a rant. Shall we then, if we're saying it? I don't know, because do we hold the name of the actual show to? I mean,
there's a little voice in my head that tells me that we might have name dropped it. I don't think we've ever done an official announcement, but we might have slipped it in conversations that we've recorded. Look, I'm pretty sure it's come out.
We'll make the official announcement. You will see it, but look, we're talking about it now. Like, it is going to be themed around Stand By Me, and you know the banner you made.
What, the original
banner?
Yes.
That's probably going to pop up roughly around now. Okay, so yeah, there's the name of the show. It is not going to be called Stand By Me. We could have used a quote from the film like we have in the past. We could have used something like that. But
I mean, that's what we did with Goonies with Never Say Die.
Stand By Me the most quotable film.
No.
For the right reasons, because the best quote from it of all is the best. Hang on, let me think. Let me think of the first two. The first two I can think of. First one is, "Hey Lardass, chow down, wide load." That's not a name of a wrestling show. And the second one is, "Suck my fat one, you cheap dime store hood." Suck my fat one would be a great name for a show, but I don't think we could do it if it was.
It's one for the shirt.
There's a third design. Suck my fat one. That's just for the adults.
Yeah. And to be fair, we were kicking ourselves after the last show as well, because of course we did it round Back to the Future. 40th anniversary of Back to the Future, Back in Time. It's actually happening on the actual date, 26th of October. Brilliant. We're going to call it Back in Time. We get all the merch made up. We announce it. We do the tickets. We do the merch. We do the poster to everything. And I think it was Jacob, about 3 weeks later, who coined the phrase, "Smack to the future." And I went, damn it! That's better. God damn you, Jacob. That is so much better.
This is Jacob for you. Like, the kid.
This is why he's the chairman.
He's the governor. I keep calling myself the chairman. Actually, right, so maybe he can be. What's bigger than the chair? What's bigger than the chairman?
President.
He's the president of TDW. We need to get him a little. He's got a TDW t-shirt. I'll get president put on the back. I'll get it done for him. There we go. He's gonna love that. So he comes up with some great ideas. But the name for this show, which as you'll see is down there, is going to be Slam By Me, which again came from, I took my kids to the barbers up there. I'll give him a shout out from Stu's Barbershop up here. We go to him because he's brilliant with kids with special needs like Ronnie, and he's like so patient. And the fact that Ronnie doesn't even flinch anymore compared to what he was like a year ago, he'd scream the whole time crying. The guy's brilliant. Well, I'm talking to him about the wrestling, and I said, no, we are doing one about Stand By Me. I'm just trying to figure out the same thing we've just been talking about, just been trying to figure out what to use. It's hard because, like, how do you quote it? Suck my fat one. Hey Chopper, sick balls. Great quote. Also can't have that as a name of a wrestling show. Another t-shirt ID now. Or It's just not like got that quote you can use. It's not got the "May the Force be with you" or anything like that kind of quote that you could use, or "I'll be back," anything like that. So he literally said, "What about Slam by Me?" And as soon as he said it, he named our show. He named that show.
Yeah.
So Stu, I'm not gonna lie to you, mate. There's a free ticket for the show if you want to come all the way to Essex. Absolutely. And yeah, and I don't know in what capacity, but I'll also say it. It's my favourite show. When I went into Never Say Die and was gonna wrestle and ended up wrestling, that was gonna be that time, and I wasn't in shape, wasn't feeling it, but I came over thinking that was me out of shape, and I actually really enjoyed that. Could I get into shape and do it? Plan is that hopefully I will make the time. I've got some New Year's resolutions to get myself back into shape, do a lot more training, and this time, in some capacity, I don't know how or who against, maybe I'll ask RJ for one more because I feel safe with him if he's not too busy with other things going on the show, because he always ends up doing a lot, and I don't want to have to beg him for a match. But in some capacity, I will step into the ring, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. I just want to, because it's Slam by Me. I will have, maybe that will be the retirement match. Maybe that will be the final one. And I'll put it in. Figure that'll be my last time is now, which perfect timing, right? See, I'm so good with segueing into segments. Did you like that? I used to be terrible at this, but the last time is now. For me, could be June, but the last time for John Cena is less than a month away. And I didn't realise until last night. I mean, I've kind of felt the end coming with Boston last week because it was his last time in his hometown.
Again, for the record, for anyone watching this one, at the moment we're recording this, Raw was yesterday. Like John Cena's final Raw was yesterday. This might be a week after by the time this goes out.
It will be 100% a week later. There'll be another Raw and SmackDown. But talk about the fact that, yeah, I mean, I was a little bit gutted because as soon as he come out at the beginning and he was talking about calling the match, I was like, he's going to have a match right here and now. What about the main event? Like, but then I sat and thought about that bit. He's done that pretty much throughout this whole tour, and I've kind of had it in the back of my head. That's just him wanting to get out of there early. Get out. He's always been like, even when we went to Raw in London, he was there early. Come out, did his segment, did a bit on that was John Cena. But then I sort of thought, thinking about John Cena, the John Cena that is leaving, the guy that is the GOAT, as people are now referring to. He is the greatest of all time because of his passion. And I was thinking, what if I'm wrong? What if it's not because he wants to get out of there early? What is it because he wants the rest of the show to be about everybody else?
That's how I see it, admittedly. Like, this is a man who has done... Yeah, this is a man who has done literally everything. And as of last week, 2 weeks ago as you're listening or watching to this, but for us, as of last week, he has done everything. Grand Slam champion now. He doesn't need the main event or the spotlight. He just wants to do a victory lap and be able to say, hey, I've
done it all.
So I done it all, and also I got to say goodbye on my terms with my favourite people and without hogging the spotlight, because I don't need that. I need to have the chance to do it one more time and say goodbye, but not at the expense of someone else.
What I loved about that match, I'm a little bit confused because there is now 2 matches left as far as I'm concerned for John Cena. One of them will be Dirty Dom at Survivor Series, as what they set up. A little bit confused about that because I was like, I thought he'd be new people. You know what I mean? Not new people, some people he hasn't wrestled on this tour. I thought that'd be the concentration.
But then again...
Pardon?
Then again, because, you know...
He's got to get... Dom's... I think... Yeah, now Dom's going to take that title back.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that John Cena retires with the belt. There's no way he vacates it. Like, he's losing that belt before.
I thought he would, at this point, when he won it, I was like, whoever he faces will walk away with that belt. And I think it's going to be someone very new.
I think he loses the belt before that last match.
Okay, fair enough.
I think he loses the belt. I think he loses the belt to Dom to get the title off him, so that Dom gets it back. And also,
Dom beats John Cena.
What a rub to say that you beat John Cena for that belt as well. Like, it absolutely legitimizes Dom even more. And also, despite the fact he's one of those characters that we love to hate in terms of Dom, the reactions that he's getting nowadays.
Oh no!
Like
Jacob,
you could straight up turn him face without having to change anything about his character. You could just Eddie Guerrero this. And
Jacob literally said to me, "Who's your favourite current wrestler? Not The Rock or CM Punk?" And I went, "Dirty Dom."
yeah,
I love Dom.
yeah, he is brilliant. And also, again, what a rub for being able to beat John. You could even turn him face during or after that match by actually showing a bit of respect to John and shaking his hand on the way out. Because John's last match doesn't need the title. The rub of being able to say that win or loss, you wrestled John Cena's final match. You don't need a belt in that equation.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely true. But that was the way I thought it was. And I was like, I was a little bit gutted. It's not going to be someone else because now, as far as I'm concerned, there is one more person that is going to get a chance to be there's one other person now. That is it. One more that will be his opponent that won't be Dirty Dom. So that was my head was like, especially because obviously this led into a 6-man tag match. But then watching it, I watched it twice. To be fair, the tag match, because I wanted to watch the ending, and because it's so much fun. The whole segment, he got to go out and have a match, with Sheamus and Rey Mysterio, which was fantastic. I'm a little bit concerned about The Miz not being involved in this at all. No interaction, a little bit, because I was thinking that what is going on there. But what I love is that segment. You see him. They all do Sheamus's. What does he call it? I call it club.
10 beats of the bell drum.
10 beats of the bell drum. Then it's the double 619. Then it's in this. I was looking at this match as these three guys, JD McDonough, Finn Balor, and Dirty Dom, get to say they had John Cena's last match, and the one that I was actually proudest of was the one that he pinned. JD, because JD is the youngest. JD, come back from that horrific injury this year. And JD's a phenomenal talent. And I remember seeing him when he first started on the Indies over here. So seeing him, and a homegrown talent, as well, a British talent, doing so well.
Or be careful saying British.
You know what I mean? Okay, right. Someone from our neck of the woods as such.
Close enough.
Sorry, JD, if you're watching, but I am giving you the rub on this, an absolute rub, because all I could think around, that's a bit I watched repeatedly, was him taking that AA and taking that pin. Yes, you lost. Yes, you lost to John Cena, but you lost to John Cena in his final match on Monday Night Raw ever at Madison Square Garden. You took John Cena's last attitude adjustment on Monday Night Raw ever. And that's just, think of, there's all the other factors. You were in his last match. You were, mate, I'll say it now, fucking fair play, JD. Yes, mate, what an honour to have that moment. And I am well proud of you and for you, mate. That is honestly.
JD's had my respect for a while. Firstly, JD's always been amazing, but let's be honest, he's always been kind of, if you needed someone in the Judgment Day to do a job who wasn't Carlito, it was JD. And, you lose, if that's all you know of JD, you lose a degree of legitimacy that way. But of course, if you know him from going up on the Indies and his time in NXT UK and as well, you know how amazing he is. Back when he was still Jordan Devlin as well. To be fair, even on the main roster, JD's had my respect for a while. Firstly, taking a practically 20-foot diving flat face bump in War Games when he received that RKO. Let's be honest, Randy didn't have to do anything there. Randy doesn't jump at all. He just falls down and catches his head on the way down. JD's taking
the last bit of the journey to be
JD is essentially doing a diving headbutt from the top of the cage. That is insane. And also the match where he got the injury, that tag match where he does is it a springboard moonsault or suicide dive or something, and
smashes back of his head.
Back first into the table. The whiplash. We thought he'd injured his neck or his head or given himself a concussion. No, he'd cracked multiple ribs and punctured a lung. And then continued wrestling the match. You can tell he's not right. Man takes a back suplex during that match after the injury. And you did not have to do that. So many people would have forgiven you for calling an audible, turning around to Dom and saying, "I'm out. You're going to have to do this on your own, mate."
I think that's what I was thinking as well, because in that moment it was like, kind of, 'cause I like JD, I like Finn. I've always liked Finn, and again frustrates me because he was getting all that push. Man got injured, and it's never come back
And
again.
has never been allowed to recover from it.
Yeah, that's because again, it's because it's all. I think again, hits in the heart because it's always the people from our neck of the woods. And so I'm not going to say Britain. From over here, you feel a little bit of really like it's kind of always like Seamus kicked off and then it cut reduced to mid card and not kept up there. So I want to see something big. JD, like, come on, man, you've got to give that
Just bad timing a lot of the
man.
time. Yeah,
He's got
bad timing a lot of time to say fit. Yeah. JD hasn't quite had a chance to get to that level just yet, but of course, yeah, I think arguably he's weirdly done better for having the injury. But yeah, Finn's probably the biggest example. Crowned the first ever Universal Champion, and we do not talk about the Jam belt, but God, honestly, the crowd dunked on that match, and rightly so, just for the belt alone. But great match with Seth. Crowned first ever Universal Champion. You know, absolutely, we're strapping this man, we're giving him that rub. Got injured during the match, had to vacate immediately. Never even given a chance to reclaim it again. I never recovered from that. And even then, even just a case of poor timing. Drew McIntyre. If you've had a chance in the 5 years since to forget the pop in the Royal Rumble when Drew eliminates Brock, go back and watch the 2020 Royal Rumble. There is only one pop in that entire match that tops it, and that is Edge returning, and fair fucks to Edge. But everyone is fully behind him. The aura that man has in that moment as well. And then Pandemic, he wins the title in the Pandemic in front of fucking no one, and carries the belt through the Pandemic as well. Randomly drops it to Autumn for like 2 weeks and then picks it up again. No idea why. And then by the time the Pandemic's over, he's dropped the belt. He finally goes round again. Okay, he's going to be wrestling Lashley at the first Mania in front of fans again. Surely this is his moment to finally give him that crowning moment, actually in front of fans. Let's do it properly again. Lashley wins for no reason. And yeah, Drew's always been a main event guy, and he's had loads of notable feuds, and obviously the man's social media game is so strong, I will salute him till the cows come home. But he's never been on that same level since.
During WrestleMania is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
Bored at work. But
lol.
But he's never, despite how amazing Drew is and how, you know, he's always going to be a top guy, but he's never been allowed to be on the same level again since the Pandemic.
Yeah, it's frustrating because, again, it's not just because they are from Britain, they're from our, but like it's that age-old thing of WWE wasting good talent and not giving them the push yes, of course I want to see CM Punk with the World Heavyweight Championship. He's my guy, but I'd also not be sad if it was Drew instead, because he deserves it. CM Punk, I've seen it before. I'm just a little bit nostalgic, and I want to see him while he's back have it on. Yes, of course I'm happy about that.
Well, you got your wish.
I've got my wish, but also I'm now thinking I've got it now. Who's going to take it away from him? And I'd like it to be Drew. To be fair, would like it to be Drew, but yeah, it's frustrating, and then we can sit here and go on about that for hours. But back to John Cena and JD. I want to tell you that was it, going back to the JD part of it. JD really should be in that competition, but he's not.
The last time he's down tournament, yeah.
Yes, if you're looking at it as I'm believing everything I see. I'm not seeing the entertainment side of it. He lost to John Cena in his last Monday Night Raw, but like I said, that guy gets to say that forever.
Yeah.
Last Monday Night Raw. His last match on Monday Night Raw. His last attitude adjustment on Monday Night Raw. His last pin on Monday Night Raw. JD, you mate, take them flowers and boast about that for the rest of your life, because I would.
Exactly. And speaking of that last time
makes you an even better man, to be fair.
To be fair, yeah. But talking about that last time is now tournament, I think we've got to talk about the surprise entrance that we've had in that tournament.
Woo. Woo,
Woo.
you know it. It's still.
I never thought
confused.
that we'd see Zack Ryder again. Like, we've seen Matt Cardona make an appearance in NXT, and to be fair, ever since Chelsea Green has been signed, I'm like, right, it's a matter of time before Matt Cardona makes an appearance. But
great.
he looks amazing. But yeah, with everything that he's done on the indies and how different he is now from the original Zack Ryder character, I figured if we saw him again, they might go back to the Zack Ryder name, because obviously trademark and they don't want to have him to use his real name necessarily. But I didn't think we'd have the Zack Ryder theme the exact same way. Maybe it was just for nostalgia, just because it was a one-time back. But like, he's not the spike your hair man anymore. But how happy I was to see him.
The last time he was Zack Ryder, he did look kind of how he does now. He's just a lot more jacked. Because I looked at it, because I was looking, because Jacob came in, he went,
Jacked
who
Ryder.
was that man that was the special guest? I was like, that's Zack Ryder. Hour later, I want to know how I can get a Zack Ryder toy. Do you know what he's done? He's got 2 LA Knights. So he's made an LA Knight. One of them is Zack Ryder now. He's got something.
I mean, to be fair, him versus LA was a great match. But also, I'm not the first person to say this. Like, it's been like, wrestling Twitter has been blowing up around this as well. How badly do you want to now see a Zack Ryder LA Knight tag team?
What Knight Rider?
The Knight Riders.
Yeah, the Knight Riders. That is. If they're not going to strap LA Knight, let him have a tag team with Zack Ryder.
But also, like, you know, it's not just the fact that, you know, lol, pun name, but just like those two just look like they would work as a tag team. Like, they just seem to be so cut from the same cloth. I'd love to see that.
I've seen it's confused because, and then obviously you've got Dolph Ziggler, Nick Namath came back. But have you heard about this? Do you remember the pipe bomb, the Cena pipe bomb?
Mm-hmm.
When he turns to the crowd and says hello, who does he name? Nickname.
Funny enough, he names
Matt Cardona.
Does he name Nick?
No, so he names Matt Cardona. He names Nick Namath. There's a third person we haven't seen yet, but it's like,
oh, I can't remember. And I did a wrestling roundup newsreel on this where I quoted it, and I can't remember who the third name was.
I'll give you there's a little clue there.
Oh, is it you? Is it Super Relic?
Yeah. Guess who's turning up on SmackDown? And luckily, it'll be after this episode.
The seeds have been planted. He's been wearing the cap the whole episode.
Superman. Think of wrestling and Superman, and it ain't Roman Reigns with a Superman punch. He's not an American Superman. He's a...
Oh, Claudio.
Cesaro. So he's like... Because I can't remember how many people are left now to be announced for the show. I was like, if he turns up, that promo was a whole thing.
There is still a very small part of me that I don't think it's going to happen. A very small part of me that either guessed in the tournament, or perhaps even so, I prefer this even more, is Cena wrestles his final match in the Last Time Is Now tournament. Maybe someone who wins, maybe it's like Solo who wins the tournament. Everyone's like, really? That's Cena's last match? Wrestles his last match, takes him to the limit, gives Solo the rub, maybe puts Solo over, and just as Cena's, you know, wiping sweat from his brow, standing up, he's knackered, he's just about to wave goodbye. You think you know me? I would pay any money to have one more Cena Edge match, and more importantly, if anything, mirroring the New Year's Revolution cash-in of he thinks he's done, and then Edge just comes to ruin it. It's not going to happen. I know I'm fantasy booking here, but I would pay any money to see it.
There's been these little hints. Like, have you seen? I don't watch AEW, but I've seen clips of I think Edge. Last thing he said to Christian was, "I've got to go. I've got to leave.
I will go take care of my family." I think it was. And everyone said like, "Oh, that means he's going to be in WWE." No, he's leaving to film another season of Percy Jackson. That's what it is. It's his contractual filmings. This is why I say I'm not expecting it to happen.
Is Percy Jackson the airbender fit guy?
Close.
No, what is he?
He's Percy Jackson and the Olympic Gods. There was a film a little while ago, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, but they've been doing the Percy Jackson series. You're thinking of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the anime.
Oh.
And the very bad M. Night Shyamalan film that we don't talk about.
Never seen any of them, so it doesn't matter. But
the anime's decent. You can skip the film.
Fair enough. But okay, so where was we at with this?
But yeah, Cena's final match.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, again, it's not going to happen. Again, the reason Edge is taking a break from AEW is to do filming. The fact, though, that it happens to coincide with what's going to be the last Cena window, I am hoping and praying that Edge finds a gap in his schedule and that WWE allows it, because I would pay any money.
AEW allows it.
Technically, he's out of contract.
Oh, fair enough, yeah.
But I'd pay any money for it, because you can talk about who Cena's greatest rival is. There is only one answer. And I'm willing to die on this hill. If you say Orton, congratulations, you're wrong. But it's Edge. So it will always be Edge.
I do agree with you, but I also disagree. Personally, it's CM Punk. For me, it's the CM Punk, because that was the area I was out of it. I know of it, and I know all the bits and bobs. But between 2004 and 2011, when The Rock came back, I was very much out of WWE as such.
So you came back in 2011 for
WrestleManias,
yeah.
This bits. I'd watch bits and bobs. Kind of I knew what was going on, but even now, there's bits that come up. I go, I never knew that happened. What was it? There was a steel cage match with Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon. I never knew happened. Where Kurt Angle's the referee. I saw a video of it. I was like, never knew that happened. Where it was a really weird.
Hang on, that would have had to have been in like 2002, 2003. That
even then, again, who wasn't around much then? The Rock.
True.
I wasn't interested, because he was a big part of why I was involved in it all, and I got into it as he was bloody leaving.
No, hang on, no. Rock took a hiatus in 2002, but by 2003 he was back for a decent spell. Hollywood Rock, one of the best eras of The Rock.
Right. And when did Brock Lesnar appear?
Brock Lesnar showed up in 2002, Raw after WrestleMania. He was gone by WrestleMania 2004. Surprisingly short run, a lot of people forget.
The Rock was around from January, around from No Way Out, pretty much, all the way to Backlash. And with this stuff with Lesnar and Kurt happening.
So the Kurt Angle, Brock in this cage match, was Brock heel or face?
I think he does a turn. I think he turns heel.
If he's heel,
because
it's late 03. It's late 03 or like early run Brock, because Brock's a face for like late 2002 through to mid late 03.
And this would have been when I was wrestling a lot. So my life, I was away on holiday camps and that. So that's what I'm saying. Rock would have been away. I wouldn't have been watching as much. So I was, again, I realised it till later on. I was pretty much obsessed with him more than most of it. It was the obsession with him first. So I preferred it when he was around, etc. So yeah, that period I would have been wrestling. I wouldn't have been watching as much. I knew, again, in and out, but this is one cage match. I never knew this storyline happened. Brock seemed to turn heel. He's fighting Vince McMahon, and Kurt's the special referee. And then it ends up being that they beat the hell out of Kurt.
So Brock must have been face initially and turned heel in that match.
I think so. I mean, again, I just stumbled across it. I was like, I never knew this happened. I didn't know Vince was in a cage match with Brock. That's weird. Anyway, we're rambling on about the most obscure things, and that's what makes an episode.
How did we even get here? Oh yeah, saying that Punk is, in your opinion, Cena's greatest rival. Because yeah, if you tune back in 2011, I mean, Money in the Bank 2011 is still one of the greatest Cena matches ever. So I actually don't consider Punk to be his best rival. I think they've had a couple of brilliant matches, that being Money in the Bank 2011 and Raw 1000. Amazing.
Okay, but put it like this, for me, right? Again, I have a tendency to get hooked on the guys that are on their last stint. The Rock I got into wrestling in 2000, 2001. The Rock started disappearing more and more forward. CM Punk 2011, like the rocket up his arse 2011, 2014, he then leaves. But what was pretty much the storyline of those 3 years? It was pretty much Punk, Rock, and Cena.
Yeah.
So
honestly, you being a Rock fan and being a Punk fan must have been fun around that time, because obviously when Punk's dropping the pipe bomb, he's like, the fact that Dwayne's in the main event of WrestleMania and I'm not.
Oh mate, I loved it. Because I I'd see it like this. I was obsessed with The Rock and the way he was speaking. That's what hooked me on him because he was cool. I'm 14, 15 years old at this point. Being able to do that and go, if you smell with The Rock, it's corny. I'm a corny sort of person anyway. It's corny and it's, I've always, there's not many pictures of me where I don't have an eyebrow raised because I'm cheesy and corny. Punk on the microphone was a different kettle of fish, but it also you got that Rock that came in 2011 was still able to do phenomenal. He adapted his way, still kept the catchphrases, but Punk comes in and there's the truth behind that pipe bomb. That pipe bomb is unreal because did he just say? Did he just mention Vince McMahon being dead? Did he just say this? Did he just wave at Colt Cabana at the screen? All this, it was like because by this point I know about indie wrestling. I didn't know what indie wrestling was in 2001 and 2. Didn't know about all these other companies. So the fact that this indie guy is now the big one and he's the mic talker, I've always been obsessed with mic talkers. If I look back in history, I was more of a Flair guy than I was a Hogan guy because I loved Flair's promos.
To be fair, yeah, this is what I always maintain. Like, yeah, you got to be able to back it up in the ring, but I always maintain the best wrestlers are not the ones that can do 1,000,001 flashy moves. They're the ones that can hook you in with both the way they talk and the way they tell a story in that ring. You do need to be able to go to a degree. Like, long gone are the days where you can do like 2 double axe handles and that's the match. But you need to be able to go in the ring. But like I say, being able to do 501 moves at 1,000,000 miles an hour and ridiculously athletic stuff, yes, that impresses me. But the wrestlers that I will always be most invested in are the ones that they talk and you listen, they move and you feel. And like that, you don't need to be the most, 101 miles an hour, ridiculously athletic wrestler in the world. You need to be able to make me buy into every movement that you make.
It's to me, again, probably why I am more WWE than AEW, and I should watch it, but AEW, most of their shows are on while I'm at work. It's Wednesdays, it's all them days that I'm at work, so I don't really watch SmackDown. It's mainly highlights, or I get in, it's on because I finish earlier on, so I watch the end of it and then watch the highlights at the beginning, and the pay-per-views I watch Sunday. But AEW is that, but it's also because AEW is more about the wrestling, which is fantastic. But to me, it's for me, it's not just what's going on in the ring. It's the way I was taught it as young as you are in a match. You are part of the show the second you're out them curtains. To me, it's the story, the walk into the ring, how you walk to the ring, because it depends how you've got to that point. Are you pissed off because you got to this match, or you're a good guy? You're just going out there to put on a good show. It's telling whatever story you are there to tell and getting that crowd.
Let's put it this way. One of the greatest of all time, who is going to be on most people's Mount Rushmore, who carried the company through its most successful period in the world with the Attitude Era. 1998 is when he crowned. 1997 is when he starts coming up. 1998 they crowned him. Attitude Era really kicks off from there. He is gone by 2003. Surprisingly short run, peak run. 5 years, Stone Cold Steve Austin. By the time he is at that peak, he is really limited in the ring. He's had his neck injury by that point. 90% of his matches are punches and kicks because his bump clock is ticking. And yet will go down for that era in particular. I mean, for the record, if you've never watched a Stone Cold match before the neck injury, like, the man could go, but like during that peak time, he didn't need to. Yeah, the Attitude Era was a different kettle of fish anyway, but he will always be heralded as one of the greatest of all time, not for his, ridiculously flippy, ridiculously high impact moves, but because he moved, you watched, you felt, you believed, and he talked and you listened. And one of the greatest calls I've ever seen, it is during the invasion angle when Vince McMahon has been trying to convince Steve Austin to go back to the old Stone Cold. And it's during a beatdown in the ring, and Austin's music finally hits, and Austin comes out, and it's just JR as Austin's coming down, giving it all the head tilt as he's walking to the ring, and it's just JR on the announcer's set, just going, he's walking, he's talking, and yes, that is it. Just that walk just that attitude is something that is very hard to teach, and like it's what makes the best professional wrestlers. It's not necessarily the moves, it's how much you buy into that aura and that character and that ability to just go with them.
So the reason my face has been doing this and all the way through because it's so good. I don't, because we are well over time and let's wrap things up soon. I've had, I fucking hate the internet. The internet has opinions on things. Like I've had because of like things you've heard about The Rock in the last few years, like him, the DC side of things, him meddling with DC and trying to take control in a mess up, and him and not this year with WWE. That it's like power's gone to his head. Listen, and I made this thing before where I've said that man keeps to be drinking a lot of tequila when he's on WWE shows. I'm a little bit concerned that he's got a drinking problem because I always knew that The Rock wasn't like that. He was straight, he was almost straight edge. Didn't know he was always drinking tequila. Anyway, Stone Cold's been playing on my mind a little bit because I've just seen things that people point out. Like if you really unravel everything behind the scenes, there's a lot of things you go, you know what, that man probably, yes, he is the biggest name in wrestling at that time, etc. Like, but when you look at some of the things that was going on, stuff that happened with Deborah, leaving, we glorified that. Just walk up and walking out. And yes, I know Punk did it as well. And there's other things that there's stories of like him refusing to job to Brock Lesnar.
To be fair, the main story about
TikTok him, and I hated it by the end of it because I was like, you've completely made me think. I don't know if he's actually a really nice guy.
To be fair, actually, I'm actually of the subscription to the Brock Lesnar thing. Is like Austin's gone on record saying like, yeah, Austin's actually admitted, yeah, I did take my ball and go home. And he said it wasn't out of not wanting to do a job. There was no storyline behind this. It's just like, hey, you're wrestling Brock today and you're going to lose. So you're wrestling Brock today and you're going to lose. Like what? No build up, no storyline. Like, I have no problem putting the guy over, but like, why are we just throwing this away? And yeah, then took his ball and went home, and arguably a massive overreaction to that. But I do see where he comes from on that one, which is like, yeah, I'm not afraid to lose to him, but like not for nothing.
This TikTok, it was horrible. It was like 5 minutes or whatever, and it was all like sort of showing you actually, if you look at it, and I was, the thing is, what's annoying is you go, yeah, to be fair, because like obviously Matt diving into it, like it's almost in his book that I lent to someone years ago and never got back. He talks about, there is the stuff that was going on with Deborah, very bad, like it got, what's the word, violent between them, like it got, and all that kind of thing. You go, yeah, that's not a good thing, is it? And then you look at, obviously, drinking all the time on the job is another thing. And there's all these bits, and I was like, man, you've actually tainted my thoughts on him, because I get it. I get what you're saying. I know all these facts, but it's also like you've actually made me go doubt like one of the greatest of all time. I think it's because at the moment it's happening a lot. Like Hulk Hogan, is that whole thing of are we sad about it because he did all the wrong? But okay, yeah, but it's still Hulk Hogan. There's that memory. It's hard to have a separate opinion to anybody anymore. Is what I'm trying to say. I think is because everyone's trying to get you to make their way right, and that's what that TikTok made me do. Is like, your way is actually fucking annoyingly in my head as like, yeah, everything you're saying is kind of, yeah, a little bit.
But also you can spin a lot of things if you want to, and also it implies that people are incapable of learning from mistakes and making genuine change. I think part of the biggest problem with Hulk is that he never seemed to make enough of an effort to redeem himself after the mistake.
Austin, I think, to be honest, I've seen all jokes aside about like, yes, it did make me, but then I, think about it, like the guy was the rock star. He was he was on the top of the mountain at a time where it was like a rock star. It's not like a rock star lifestyle. It's very, it's performance centers, and it's a lot of it. It's not it was grittier then. So there was, not condoning things he did, but like he had I am the best, I am got to be the best attitude, and I will be on top of this mountain unless you take it away from me, which basically what happened because of injury, etc.
And it was a lot more dog eat dog at the time.
Yes,
still as well.
Not condoning it, but different times, isn't it? It's different. It's different to look at it now but at the same time, you look back, you go through anything, you go, yeah, I'm not saying it was okay that things happened, but it was a different time. People didn't.
There's at least an
Like,
asterisk next to
yeah,
it.
there's an asterisk to it of like, yeah, people. I don't agree with it. Like if I watch an old episode of Only Fools and Horses and they refer to an Indian gentleman as a certain word that is now considered racist, I I think, oh yeah, you couldn't get away with that today. But also remember, at that time, everyone got away with it at the time because that's what they called. That's what was not again. It's not okay, but
It's not. It's not like it was.
just
It's not like it was
how life
okay.
was then.
Yeah, it's not like it's okay as much as it was generally accepted and just part of the vocabulary.
Yeah.
And that even happens fairly recently. Like it's like there's words that when I was growing up in, I'm going to make a man feel old now. When I was growing up in the noughties and when I was in high school in the 2010s, there was words that were very regularly used that were not considered to be anywhere near as bad as they are now. Like they were still bad words, but it wasn't massively frowned upon in the same way it is now. And of course, with modern eyes, you look back and go, yeah, it's actually quite worrying that ever was okay, but it was okay at the time, and you can't hold people to the same standard you would now. If I use the word now, yeah, I'm an arsehole. I'm unforgivable because I'm saying it fully aware of the connotations of it and the fact that it's really not okay. At the time, broadly accepted, it was just a word that was a funny word.
Now, yeah, but now you would not. I wouldn't dream of you. I would, but I wouldn't also. Yeah, I wouldn't be in this sense of, oh, it was okay back then. I can say it now. That some people do, and you and yeah, I have.
Oh, the world's gone mad. It's like no, the world's grown up.
I have this frustration. One of my friends is very old school in the way he talks, and still uses words. And he now knows if he's having a conversation with me, he goes to, he's going to say something, and I go, he does it. He goes, you don't like that, do you? I won't say it. I was like, cool. I'm glad it's just not been horrible. Not that I accept that you say it. I get it. That's probably your life and the way that you've always dealt with saying them things. I don't like it. I don't like it. So just, understand that I'm not okay with you using them terms. Anyway, Kurt, you know what? Let's wrap things up because we are now going into racism and stuff like that. If it's not politics, it's racism or things we shouldn't talk about. But
how did we get from wrestling to this?
I don't know. No idea. The last time is now. You can't see me, but let me think. What should we do first? I'll do the Tree Frog. You do Patreon. I'll do JC. You do the socials. All right. Yeah. Let's wrap it up like that. If you are a card grader, please remember that one of the UK's best card grading companies is called treefroggrading.com, or they're called Tree Frog Grading. The website's called treefroggrading.com, and we have a discount code you can use. It's TWD15 on their website throughout. So if they've already got a bundle where you, for example, can buy 3 get 1 free or whatever, you can add our code on top of that and still get more discount. Also, just go get your cards graded. Kurt, Patreon.
Yeah, mate, I think it's absolutely best if you do the Tree Frog card grading. Anyway, immediately fucks it. But so yes, we are on Patreon. Talk to our podcast on Patreon. Please do give us a follow there, and also, at the time this episode goes out, I believe the offer is still going. If you join now, you get your first month on our Patreon for free. Where'd he go? Where's Ryan gone?
I just wanted to make you fuck your spiel as well.
This is brilliant if you're just listening right now. Ryan's just whacked on. Is that a Dragon Lee or is that a Kalisto mask?
This is a £8 mask from Johnny Storm at Gen Pro Wrestling. Carry on.
Love it. So, yeah, we are on Patreon. Talk Dork Podcast on Patreon. If you join now, you get the first month absolutely free. And also, as well as all the exclusive content, we have got bonus podcast episodes. We got behind the scenes bits and bobs. We have got our first ever TDW's first ever wrestling show from before TDW was even a thing. Talks with Dorks presents Never Say Die from earlier on in the year. And as of 1 day ago at the moment we record this, 1 week ago by the time this goes out, our second ever show, TDW presents Back in Time. This is for Ryan right here. Back in Time is now on that Patreon. Go give it a watch. The full show as it happened, with bonus match commentary, with behind the scenes promos and backstage stuff as well. We are so proud of it. We have loved every bit of feedback and response we've had from it so far, plus all the fans in attendance, and we hope you enjoy it too. That is the Patreon, and there's more to come on that Patreon as it goes.
Si, senor. I want to clean your toilet.
Now, El Hijo del Super Relic.
Ooh, JC, our very good friend, who is desperate to come back and do it. I probably could have called him. He could have joined us. He would have jumped at the chance to join us tonight. Sorry, JC, I should have thought about it, but the other lad's just last minute thing. I'll figure something out with you, mate. JC's got his own clothing range. It is called Graffiti Washed. If you want to get yourself a Graffiti Washed t-shirt or any item of clothing, use the code TalkDorkDamo for 30% off. The link will be below this video. That's the last one. Socials, Kurt. Socials. Wrap it up.
Yep, we are on all the usual socials. At TalkDork Podcast on 99% of them. That being Insta, Facebook, all the usuals. But also, we have TDW at TalkDork Wrestling if you want to follow the wrestling side of things on all the usual socials. And, of course, Gaming with Dorks as well. And there is going to be some more Gaming with Dorks stuff coming. It took a little bit of a hiatus while we were focusing on the wrestling stuff. Gaming with Dorks is coming back
Damo's
with a
on it,
vengeance.
mate. He's on it.
That is all the socials there again. At TalkDork Podcast, at Gaming with Dorks, or at TalkDork Wrestling, depending on which one of us you prefer. But you know what? Give all three a follow. Why not?
Like, follow, subscribe. I've had some great times recently. By the way, if they're up, go have a look at the Garrison's pictures from Saturday.
Ha!
There's a few people wearing that.
That belt's not making it to 28th of February, is it?
Not. No, probably not.
We're going to be ordering a new one, aren't we?
Yeah, more than likely. But yeah, I'm Ryan. That's Kurt. This is Talks with Dorks. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. See you later. You're a dork.
I hate dorks. Talks with Dorks. May the power protect you.